Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the annual Peace Day held by the Organization for World Peace. We have a lot of prominent speakers today. The agenda for today is that we have a list of speakers and then a cake cutting ceremony and a photo session. And in the end, we will end the evening with a light dinner. Our first speaker for today is a political enthusiast with roots from the Arab world. And please welcome her. Her name is Abid Ali.
Thank you very much. As presented, my name is Abid Ali Abid, and I have been given the honor of giving my point of view on peace, and for that I thank Mr. Abid Ali. I'm a medical student at the University of Copenhagen, and I hope to dedicate my life to help the people of the third world by increasing their quality of health. It is quite ironic for me, or funny, to stand here and talk about peace, because my father is originally from Iraq and my mother is a Palestinian. So to say that I'm familiar with peace would be an understatement. One could argue that and say that I have lived my whole entire life here in Denmark, one of the most peaceful countries in the world. But to me, peace is not the absence of war. Peace is the existence of justice. So though living here in Denmark, in a country where there is no war, I would say that peace has been non-existent in my entire life, because of the fact that I'm aware of the injustice, not just happening in the third world, but also here in the Western societies. So in other words, I don't believe that the weapons are the problem in this peace discussion. The world could be have the biggest stock of tanks, guns, and bombs, and they wouldn't be a problem as long as justice existed in the world. When humanity has peace of mind, I believe that humanity will be peaceful. So, regardless of the possibility to be non-peaceful. And peace of mind can only be attained by implementing justice in the lives of people. So the job is to implement justice in the world, if you ask me. And it's really not that difficult, as it may sound, because justice is the clearest truth we will ever be familiar with. We know what is fair and what is not fair. We know what is good and not good. Justice is independent of religion, culture, race, and upbringing. Many would argue that and say that justice is not that black on white, that justice isn't that clear, that justice is subjective. But no, justice is not subjective, and it lies in the meaning of the word. There would not be such kind of phenomenon as justice if the world was subjective. The reason justice seems subjective is because of all these political and economical interests that exist among us human beings. When these are put above the aim of making the world a better place, justice becomes blurry, not black on white. Justice does not exist because people are selling it for money and for power. And I promise myself not to talk about any politicians, not to discuss any politics, but I can't help giving an example that I think that's great for this topic. For example, Barack Obama, before he was elected, he talked about that the Palestinians were the people that had suffered the most in the history of mankind. And now he's the American president that had helped Israel the most, giving them the most weapons, not talking about the settlements, not talking about the Gaza wall. And I think he's an example of a man that knows what is fair, that has seen justice, but have sold it for power and money. And I can talk endless about the injustice in the world, but I think that you all are aware of the situations. So I would thank you for you listening, and I hope that you are all working on making the world a fairer place. And I will finish my speech by explaining what my name means. I've always known that Amani means wishes in Arabic, but recently my friend told me that in Swahili it means peace. So I wish for peace. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Amani, for the beautiful name and for your point of view on peace linked with justice. It was very interesting. And the next speaker is the ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia, Dr. Gomer Pasaribu.
Nepal.
Oh, okay. Sorry, change. The ambassador of Nepal, Mr. Mukti Nath Kadol. Sorry.
Mr. Abid Ali, Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an honor for me to have been invited to this gathering and to have been given this opportunity to speak to you a few words about my feelings on peace. Before coming here, I searched the net and I was not quite familiar with the origin of the Peace Day celebrations. Now I understand that in the year 1981, the United Nations General Assembly decided that a peace day be celebrated in September, coinciding with the opening day of the annual General Assembly sessions, and the first peace day was thus observed in 1982. Since then it has been observed regularly, and with a further resolution in 2001, the United Nations General Assembly adopted that peace be sustainable as development be. The charming young lady who just spoke before me was very much right that peace is possible only when there is justice. And only when there is justice, things sustain. I quite agree with her. And my own country is not very much at peace with itself. We have been in transition for the last 5 or 6 years, and very unfortunately the elected assembly that was elected 4 years ago was charged with writing a constitution for the country which would decide what kind of political and electoral system the country would adopt and follow, so that the existing officers and bodies, with this I mean the existing president, the vice president, the government, the prime minister, etc., would be doing what and wouldn't be doing what, and who would be replaced by whom. All those things were supposed to be decided by the elected assembly, but before deciding it, although they extended their life for 2 years, very unfortunately they couldn't agree on certain fundamentals, and therefore they got dissolved after 4 years without agreeing to the text of the constitution. So we are in a kind of a very funny situation, but the developments or the kind of process that the major political parties have started makes us feel to be optimistic that certain resolution will be coming out soon, and they will once more agree to hold one more body to write the constitution. And I hope they will succeed and will have a constitution, and the world will have peace. May this year's, actually the 2001 resolution of the United Nations General Assembly did also decide that the 21st of September be observed as International Peace Day, and we are, I hope it is in accord with that Mr. Abid is organizing this function, and it was a week ago that the formal Peace Day was announced and celebrated, and let this year's Peace Day bring a little bit more peace throughout the world. Thank you very much indeed.
Let me thank Mr. Muntina. It was very interesting, and thank you for sharing your views on peace with us. I think everyone share your views on the creation of a sustainable constitution in Nepal. And now to the next speaker, the ambassador of Indonesia, Dr. Bomo Kasarbu. Please welcome him.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to congratulate the chairman of the Organization for World Peace, Mr. Abid Ali Abid, my colleague, in this annual celebration of International Peace Day. It is an honor for me to be here among us in this auspicious occasion. Since establishment, the Organization for World Peace always remind us and emphasizing the importance of peace, justice, equality, and harmony in this world. It is indeed always important to be remembered that the world we are living today is still far from peace. Almost every day we read in the newspapers that something bad happening somewhere, conflicts and war, as well as act of terrorism in some part of the world. Besides that, problem of humanity such as global warming, hunger, environmental degradation, and natural disaster becomes a serious challenge to mankind. In this regard, global cooperation with a concerted effort by all nations is very essential to tackle these problems and challenges. All of us, as a part of the global community, we have the passion and energy to work together to build a safe, peaceful world and to bring prosperity for all. Indonesia has been actively played its role in promoting peace through bilateral, regional, and multilateral cooperation. And Indonesia's role will continue.